Hello, I'm Anthony and I'll be reading to you today the story called The Loop, which I wrote approximately 2012. I hope you enjoy it. At the end I'll give you a little bit of a background into the origins of the story, as there's always a little bit of truth in there somewhere. The Loop. He steps casually into the train carriage. He's only a few stops from the city loop, so takes up position near the doors. Across from him sits a dishevelled young woman, casually eating a cheeseburger. Her toddler, a boy about 2, stands in front of her with fries scrunched in both sweaty hands. Aside from his nappy, he's naked. It may be summer, but surely it's not hot enough to justify his lack of clothing or bare feet upon the grimy floor. The young man frowns. He quickly determines that it's nothing to do with him. He gazes at his phone, hoping his friend had not notified of a late change to their rendezvous, as he had been known to.
Eat your fries,
says the mother, who doesn't look particularly healthy due to lack of sleep or a bad diet, which seems likely. Or perhaps it's something more, like drugs. The young man could not discern, though surmised that it could be a combination of all those things.
No,
The boy says, swaying side to side against the movement of the train, beginning to shake his head and threatening to topple in protest.
Don't be a brat or you'll get it. No.
The boy shouts. In a surprisingly swift manoeuvre, his mother tosses her food to one side, grips the toddler by the upper arm and smacks him hard on the bottom. The boy does not cry, as this is nothing new, though throws the fistful of fries towards the doors.
You little shit.
She whacks him again, and again. His swollen diaper protecting him from the full force. Yet he tries to twist himself from her grasp without success. Don't do that, the young man says instinctively.
You don't understand.
She says, though ceases hitting.
He's a nightmare.
The young man rubs his chin, not knowing what to say. A middle-aged woman who's approaching the doors in preparation for the next stop says,
The poor child should have some clothes on. The floor's filthy.
What would you know? Mind your own business, bitch.
She scoops up her child, who merely squirms and begins to shriek like a tortured mouse. His mother slaps his pudgy right leg with a high-pitched crack in an attempt to subdue him. It doesn't work. She does it again. As the train draws to a halt, the older woman mutters,
That's shocking.
Piss off, you pill-popping whore.
The young man stands, wanting to rescue the child, but having witnessed enough, steps over the boy's fries and disembarks with the middle-aged woman.
That's just terrible.
Though lacking words only moments before, the young man is promptly filled with indignation. What sort of mother is that? We should report her. Maybe the police can arrest her.
There's no point. The child's not even crying. I imagine he's used to it, poor thing.
As the doors close and the train begins to move off, the mother stands from inside the carriage, her toddler still squirming fruitlessly under her right arm. She awards the onlookers with the classic one-fingered salute. The loop is a metaphor for the cycle of poverty or the cycle of abuse. And perhaps in this case, the woman, the mother herself, has gone through a similar sort of upbringing, and it appears that her child is already grown quite accustomed to it. Some do escape this cycle, of course, but more often than not, it just gets passed down from one generation to the next. It really is quite ingrained from a very early age. The line, "Piss off, you pill-popping whore," was something I overheard when I was a teenager from a teenage girl to a middle-aged woman. The woman was seen to be interfering, so the girl thought, and that was her response, word for word. I remember it stuck very clearly in my mind. The girl was a friend of mine, actually, and she did indeed grow up in poor environment, and that was the sort of response that she gave. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. The Loop is part of my collection, Pseudo Stars. It's one of the many short stories in there. You can swing by Anthony J. Langford Books. You'll find it there, among a few other stories and books. I hope you enjoyed the story, and thanks for listening. Cheers.